When you think of your favorite dog, the one dog in your life you'll never forget, do you picture a Labrador, an Australian Shepherd, or a Dachshund perhaps? Well, for me, my favorite breed of dog has always been the pug. Ever since I've been a little girl, I've wanted one. Currently, I own a black female pug named Sophie. She is a wonderful dog in so many ways, but not everyone agrees with me about pugs. Not everyone likes them or thinks they're even a normal breed with that E.T. smashing face there. Yeah. But I will say one thing. Pugs make wonderful, wonderful companion animals. A little bit about the history of a pug is that the breed actually originated back as far back as 400 BC, and it came from Asia, and it has a lot of characteristics of the Pekingese, with it being brachiocephalic, which is the flat face. Back in China, pugs were known to be pets of Buddhist monasteries in Tibet, and they also appeared in Japan and in Europe, and then they became popular with like royalty, princes, kings, queens. They would own pugs, and you would see them in historical pictures, portraits even, yes. Now, the reason that I liked the pug is because, number one, it's a pretty small dog. It's a medium size. It's considered to be in the toy breed of the American Kennel Club, and they don't usually grow to be over 18 pounds. If you keep a pug in good physical condition, you shouldn't have that many health problems. With it being brachiocephalic, you do have to be careful with the breathing. It can get overheated quickly, so you want to make sure this is a dog that will be inside with you, and that you make sure that the ears are checked regularly, because it is prone to getting ear infections. You also want to make sure that the folds on the dog's face and jowls are cleaned regularly, because that can also become irritated, and it can become infected if there's a lot of moisture there. If your dog has been exercising or playing really hard, it will start panting, and moisture can collect in the folds, so you have to be aware of that also. Now, one characteristic of a pug is that they tend to be stubborn. This is one thing that you may want to work on while they're young. With a pug being young, it's a very good benefit opposed to getting them when they're older, because with them being stubborn, that tendency can usually be nipped in the bud with training. And with the training, the potty training especially, you'll have to work consistently and sometimes, depending on the individual pug, for an extended period of time. With my pug, it took her about 4 months of good crate training to become potty trained. Now, I want to share with you a poem of appreciation that I have here, and I found it on the internet, and it goes as such. Oh, lovely and most charming pug, thy graceful air and heavenly mug, the beauties of your mind do shine, and every bit is shaped so fine. Your tail is most divine. One of the most characteristic traits of a pug is actually the little pigtail, because that's not normal for a dog. You know, you usually see a dog with either a very short tail or a very long tail, or sometimes between. But with the pugs, their tail literally does curl up into a curlicue, and it's natural. When Sophie is asleep, her tail will go straight. When she wakes up again, her tail curls right back up. Now, in choosing a pug, the reason I chose one to be a companion animal for me is because they are very affectionate, they're very loyal, and they are not really a crazy hyper dog. They have their moments, trust me. But if you want a very calm dog, one that doesn't really require a lot of exercise, and one that will really be your lap dog, a pug is for you. And the reason I chose her to be my companion dog is not necessarily for myself, but for my younger son, Daniel. Daniel happens to be autistic, and when he was younger, he had a very hard time associating with the everyday world. But because we had animals even when he was younger, it helped him. But with Sophie, he can just do anything to her, and he's not abusive, of course. But he can come up to her, put his head right against hers. She's very patient, she's very calm, she's very loving. And when you're older, like I am, when your kids are off to school, it does help to have someone around to be your companion. And I am very grateful for Sophie for being a part of our life. Now, I've had bad experience with having the pug as well. Before we had Sophie, we had another pug named Merlin. And for whatever reason, after a year old, Merlin became very aggressive. We actually had to get rid of him. We had to dehome him, get him to another house, basically. One that was better equipped to handle his specific needs. So I like to say I've had both sides of the spectrum, where I've had a pug that was not a very good companion animal and can relate to people who don't prefer them as a breed, but I also can relate and really love that I have a good companion animal in Sophie. And it's been scientifically proven that people who own dogs, their blood pressure is lower, they tend to live longer, they're happier in their elderly years, and it's a very good source of companionship, and you also get entertained from them. So in choosing a dog, I consider choosing a pug. They are very loyal, and they were very cute lap dogs. With Sophie, she's touched my heart. She's seen me and my family through some very rough times, and just very happy for us to be home, and she'll welcome you with a little bark, and I've even taught her how to dance, her and her brother Lancey. So I'm glad that I chose a pug, and I'll never regret it.